This is the second online video lecture for Sociology 328, Social Inequality Stratification. We left off at the end of the first video lecture with looking through the syllabus. The last thing I talked about was attendance and how that's determined in this online format. So let's keep going. Pretty standard grading system and scale in this class. There are 360 points total in this class, so this grading scale will be based on that, percentages of those points. These are the major assignments in this course. They're the same for blended and online. You'll have these same assignments that go in your 360 points. No extra credit, they're all required assignments. This first week, as we'll see under week 1, you will fill out a student contract statement on your goals for yourself in this course. You'll have 7 online discussion board posts, weeks 1 through 7, at 20 points each. We'll look at that in a moment. That's for a total of 140 points. You will have 4 quizzes at 20 points each for a total of 80 points. The quizzes, I believe, are every other week. We will check to make sure of that as we go through the rest of the course. And your big assignment for this course is a term paper based on content analysis, and we'll go through the instructions for that paper. And you will be completing this paper in stages. So week 1, you will turn in a draft of your introduction with your research question and thesis. That's 10 points. Stage 2, you will be turning in a paper on the theory and methods you are employing. That's stage 2 for 20 points. And with stage 3, you have a final research paper that you'll turn in week 8 for 100 points. And I just remember that I have a sample research paper from a former student that was very good, and so I will be posting that as well. Probably under course information, if not week 8. So I will be sure to do that in the next several days and post an announcement and email all of you when I do. That way you have something to model your own paper after. Okay. So here is the class-by-class outline for the course, and this is what you will want to look at on a weekly basis. Talks about the topics for each week, and you can find these under each week in the course shell as well. Your reading for each week, the theme of the online discussion for each week, and any assignments due that week. I've also marked the weeks with video clips, which are most weeks, I believe. There will be a video clip, and you can also see when the quizzes are. They're every other week starting week 2. So follow that schedule to make sure you have no late assignments and you turn in everything due. And if you have any questions on that, of course, please don't hesitate to contact me and ask. All right, there's the syllabus. Let's go back to what's under course information on the Blackboard course shell. We already talked about the attendance policy in this course at the end of the first online video lecture. I also have an email policy because I get a lot of emails at Brandman. I will let you read through that yourself, and please do adhere to it, so you don't wonder why maybe sometimes I don't respond to your email or respond very briefly. Look at my online email policy, or sorry, just my email policy. Also, I have a late assignment policy. So in general, this is saying for each calendar day that your assignment is late, I deduct 5% of the total number of points possible from whatever grade you get on that assignment. Now, not in this course actually, so scratch that. In some of my courses, I have whether or not the assignment is late built into the grading rubric for the assignment, but that's not the case in this course. So in this course, the late assignment policy stands for all assignments other than discussion board posts, which does have late points built into the rubric, the discussion board posts. I believe it does. Oh, maybe not. I'm sorry. I don't mean to confuse you. This is my policy on late assignments. 5% of the total number of points possible on your grade taken off of the grade you receive on the assignment. I know it's a little confusing at first. If you have any questions or concerns about that, don't hesitate to let me know. Email me or set up an appointment. We can talk about it. But hopefully you won't have any late assignments, so it won't apply. Now here's something that I want you to look over and read thoroughly, and that I want to go through with you now, and it is the discussion board guidelines. There is no traditional rubric like a table for grading discussion board posts in this class. Instead, you have these guidelines that you need to follow every week. So this is another good document to print out or download and save onto your computer, and use it as a checklist every week for your discussion board posts. That's how I would recommend using it, because I also use it as a checklist when I grade your discussion board posts. So do the same thing I do and use it as a checklist to make sure that your weekly discussion board posts aren't missing any of the required elements. So every week on the discussion board, you will already have some questions or prompts that you need to answer. You need to answer all of those questions in your first main post, and you need to answer them by midnight Thursday of every week. Midnight Thursday, that's specified under each week in the Blackboard course shell too. So by midnight Thursday of each week, you have to answer all the questions that are already on there on the discussion board. That's 4 points. Then you, let's see, how do we do this? How do I divide this up? Sorry. Okay, so you respond to all the prompts, that's 4 points. You respond to 2 of your classmates' main posts by Sunday at midnight, as it says here, for so it should actually be 2 of your classmates. That's specified under each week. So that's 8 points. 8 plus 4 is 12. Then you need to either respond to your classmates' posts on your thread or my questions for you on your thread. Okay, that's another 4 points. That's 16 points. And you need to cite the textbook at least twice per week in your posts. And that's another 2 points each, so it comes to a total of 20. Okay, I know that was confusing, so let me go through that again. Respond to all of the questions already on the discussion board each week in your main post. That's 4 points. Respond to 2 of your classmates' main posts on the discussion board. 4 points each, 8 points total, plus the 4 points for your main post, that's 12 points. Then you need to respond to either my questions or your classmates' questions on your discussion board thread. That's another 4 points for a total of 16 points. And then you need to be sure that somewhere on your thread you are citing the textbook at least twice. For 2 points each, total of another 4 points, it's a total of 20 points. Okay, think about that. If that's still not clear, email and let me know. A couple of things I need to say in relation to that. I go into the discussion board nearly every day, if not more than once every day. And I will read everyone's main posts, and I will ask questions to you based on your main posts, just to push you to give us a little bit more on your discussion board thread. Now you have the choice each week of answering my questions based on your main posts, or if your classmates leave any questions, you can respond to them. Either way, you have to respond to someone on your main thread every week to get those 4 points. Okay? And You, of course, need to do the same for your classmates. You need to respond to their main posts with questions of your own. And then they have the choice to either respond to your questions or my questions for their 4 points on that. Now, when you cite the textbook, I'm finding a lot of Brandman students misinterpret cite as quote. No, you do not need to directly quote the textbook. In fact, I prefer that you do not directly quote the textbook. I prefer that you paraphrase and that you write things in your own words. Citing really just means the parenthetical reference to the textbook with the author's last name and year and page number if it's something specific from that page. That's APA style. That's what I mean by cite. I would actually prefer that you put what the textbook says in your own words or that you paraphrase. So citing is not the same thing as quoting. Please keep that in mind. And again, please let me know if you have any questions on what you're supposed to include in your discussion board every week. I will talk you through this again as we go through each week's assignments on Blackboard. Okay, so Thursday by midnight for your main post every week, Sunday by midnight for your responses to classmates. Netiquette for online discussions. I'll let you look through those yourself. Pretty standard, and it's also covered in that netiquette video I showed you under Start here. And here's the points allocation again. Goes along with what I talked you through earlier in going through the required components. But here's how that breaks down in points. 4 points per posting, 2 points per citation, for a total of 20 points every week. All right. Now the other big thing that I want to go through that you will do in this course is your term paper, your multitask research project. Your term paper needs to be based on original research that you do, and the original research is content analysis. If you've taken the social research design, Sociology 301 at Brandman, you are familiar with content analysis and what that entails. For those of you who've never done it before, I think you'll find it fun. Content analysis is looking at popular visual media, as it says here. So images, either images on TV, images online, images in magazines. Where else would you see images? Newspapers. But you're looking at things that are visual, not text-based. And you're looking at how the media in these visual images portrays socially disadvantaged groups. And you will learn exactly what those groups are in this course. We'll be doing a lot of reading and discussing of groups that are socially advantaged. Some of them are listed here. If you have a question about whether the group you're considering is socially disadvantaged, send me an email. So in your paper, you are going to analyze how the media portrays a socially disadvantaged group in images. How are you going to do that? It outlines it here. Take a look at that. It needs to be 6 to 8 pages, double spaced, 12-point font, standard margins, and those 6 to 8 pages do not include the title page or figures or pictures or the reference page. Make sure it's in ASA format, and Brandman usually uses APA format, and I can direct you to resources on APA format if you're not familiar with it, so look at that. Your tasks are divided up week by week. You will do this task week 1, a draft of your introduction, research question, or thesis statement. I will go over that with you on my online video lecture that goes through the weeks. You can read about what you are to do here. You can see the sample paper I will upload. Week 2, you'll turn in your draft of a theoretical framework and research methods for 20 points. Weeks 3 through 8, on your own, you will conduct your content analysis of visual media images, and you will write the final research paper due week 8. Here are some more guidelines on what to include in each section. Pretty standard, but if you have any questions on that, please let me know. I expect you to look through and read that on your own and let me know if you're having trouble understanding something or you don't understand what it's saying. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to go through it all right now. I will take a little more time, though, to talk about tasks 1 and 2, these drafts, when we look at weeks 1 and 2 of the course. But for right now, I'm going to end this video lecture because we're at almost 16 minutes. And so we will pick up with going week by week through the course in the 3rd online video lecture for this course. All right, see you soon.